Hi, I'm Kristen Bell, and if you know my husband Dax, then you also know he loves shopping for a car. Selling a car? Not so much.
We're really doing this, huh?
Thankfully, Carvana makes it easy. Answer a few questions, put in your VIN or license, and done. We sold ours in minutes this morning, and they'll come pick it up and pay us this afternoon.
Bye-bye, truckie.
Of course, we kept the favorite.
Hello, other truckie.
Sell your car with Carvana today. Terms and conditions apply.
In this episode of Pop Culture Weekly, Benny Panella returns to discuss video game adaptations, and I speak with Anthony Mackie and the cast of Twisted Metal Season 2, and Dave Franco and Alison Brie join me to discuss their horror film Together. Let's go!
Welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon from iHeartRadio. Your pop culture news, views, reviews, and celebrity interviews on all the movies, TV, music, and pop culture you crave weekly. Here's Kyle McMahon.
Hello. Welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon. I, of course, am Kyle McMahon, and I thank you for joining me on another episode of Pop Culture Weekly. Today's episode is a great one. We're talking video game adaptations, horror movies, flaming clown cars, and married people being spooky. So basically a regular Tuesday in this business. We're going to kick things off with my boy, the hysterical, the amazing, hilarious Benny Panella for a chat about the best and worst video game adaptations ever made. Spoiler, one of us thinks Mortal Kombat is cinema. Then we hit the gas and barrel into the chaos of Twisted Metal Season 2 with Anthony Mackie, Stephanie Beatriz, Anthony Carrigan, Michael Jonathan Smith, Tiana Okoye, and the incredible cast. And finally, we go out with a bang as Dave Franco and Alison Brie join me to talk about their new horror film Together. Real-life married couple, fake-life terrified people, so it's perfect. So, all right, let's get into it. I grabbed a controller, a Red Bull, and Benny Panella. So let's jump into the video game adaptation multiverse. We are diving into the wild, pixelated world of video game adaptations because who hasn't dreamed of turning an 8-bit plumber into a billion-dollar movie franchise? Am I right? Benny Panella?
Oh, wow. Look at this. I found my way back to the studio after how many years?
I know.
Like 3 years. Yeah. My GPS wasn't working. You make one wrong turn in the studio and it's just, you're down a completely different hallway. But yeah, I'm excited. We're talking about video games becoming movies, or the egg becoming the chicken, not the chicken becoming the egg.
Exactly. Because, you know why we're doing that?
Why?
Because I have Anthony Mackie and the cast of Twisted Metal Season 2.
Oh, yeah. That show looks awesome.
Yeah.
I remember playing that game when I was a kid.
Did you watch the first season?
I've not watched the first season.
It's really
yet,
great.
But I played the first ever Twisted Metal back on my PlayStation 1. Gosh, man, this is like, we're going back to like the late 90s when I was like a kid. I had a demo CD that had Twisted Metal on it, and I played that, and I'm like, I got to get this game. And then I played that, and I remember just loving that game so much.
If you were in the demolition,
yeah,
what would your car be and what would it do?
My car would probably be like the mild annoyance car. It would just walk up, it would drive up to your car and just like mildly annoy you. Like a lot of like low damage attacks. Yeah.
So it'd be like a 2001 Honda Civic.
It'd be like a Ford Taurus. It'd be like that. Yeah.
I am going to ask some of our guests that today. I'm just curious if they were in a real demolition, what would their car be?
Demolition Derby. Yeah.
I don't know what mine would be. I think it would be an electric scooter.
Oh, okay.
With a sidecar.
A sidecar that has a cannon.
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go.
And that's not a sexual reference.
Not a sexual reference whatsoever. My Ford Taurus would have a gun that fires Pringles cans. I mean, like, again, it would like shoot like towards your tires, so it's not going to do much damage, but
it could get caught in the tires.
Yeah, there you go. Could get caught in the gears.
Exactly.
And up in that,
So, quickly, how have you been the last 3 years?
I've been great. I'm married now. I have a house now. Still living in Wilmington, and I've
Delaware.
Wilmington, Delaware. Yes, not Wilmington, North Carolina, or Delaware, Ohio. I am also doing a fantasy football podcast, the LFG podcast.
We can get the LFG.
Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. You can find it there. iHeartRadio app. Yep.
Which is free.
But yeah, now I've just been, doing house stuff, like being an old man. I don't know. You get more successful, and I just become an older man.
I know. When you left, you were like 30, and now you're like 90.
Yes.
You were talking earlier about, I found this great show, 2 great shows, House and Seinfeld. Like they haven't been around since last century.
So in the next 3 years, when you have me on again, I'll be telling you the wonderful discovery of Roots.
Survivor?
Yeah.
Oh, Roots. Okay.
Yep. There's a show called Roots.
So, video game adaptations.
Yes.
So, first of all, just in general, how do you feel about them?
It can be tricky. When you take here's the thing. The beautiful things about video games, obviously depending on the game, is you are the main character. While there is a main character, there's a story in the game. You are effectively the player. You are the main character.
Right. With
a movie, you're just kind of along for the ride. And I think that's the challenge when you take a video game and move it to the big screen. It can be very tricky to do that.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about good and bad. Like there are some that I think did a really great job of doing it. And there's others where I think, maybe you should have just not done it. You have to understand how to be able to take a story that the player controls and move that into a realm where the viewer still feels like they're in control while they're also watching it unfold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good assessment. I also think you're a big fan of like Red Dead Redemption,
Yep.
right? And so you love that. You play that. You've played multiple games, like you're in the lore with a project that you've loved so much and have spent so many hours in, then seeing it in a new medium, you're going to have high expectations for that. You've spent a lot of time and investment in this world, and you want it to representative of that world that you've lived in, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And really quickly, there is no movie or show, right?
No, but I will say this. The Red Dead Redemption games are the closest you'll get to a video game movie.
Okay.
To me, both happening at the same time. You literally playing a movie. They are beautiful. They're graphically beautiful, and they're visually gorgeous. Number two, the stories are just so engaging because you feel like you are this character. They do a great job of that. And I think they're a great template for, if you're going to do this, follow this a little bit, and that's a good segue into taking a video game that's like Mario, for example, being able to take that, applying a little bit of the Red Dead formula to it, and making it into a movie. I think that's a really good kind of segue into it. But I love those games; they're outstanding.
Why?
Obviously, I've talked about how engaging the story is, but there's something to this. Is I'm trying to condense a really big thought into a couple of sentences here, but I think there's something that is so fascinating about the Wild West. When I was a kid watching old Western movies, even if they were stupid, that fascinated me because man, was it really like that? We see it on film, we read about it in books, but we don't know if it was actually like that or not. But it's kind of cool to see, maybe not that crazy of a spaghetti Western play out, but it's kind of cool to be a part of that,
Okay.
I'm mystified by that.
Okay.
I love that.
I knew you would be the perfect person for this because one, my video game experience is primarily, when I was a kid, I did all the Marios and all that. But my big stuff was Call of Duty and Fortnite.
Yeah.
And I spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, God knows how much time I spent playing Fortnite and Call of Duty. So that's kind of, except when I was a kid with Super Mario Kart and all those, that's kind of the extent of my video game stuff. So I thought you'd be a great counterpoint, or not counterpoint, but a counterpart to this. All right. Let's start with kind of the origins of video game adaptations. I would argue that Super Mario Brothers in 1993 was probably the first one, do you think?
If I would think the Super Mario Brothers movie from that early on. Now, whether that movie was great or not, people can debate. But
yeah, and quickly, just sorry to interrupt. So I just Googled it. Super Mario Brothers is the first live-action film based on a video game, released May 28th, 1993, to both critical and commercial failure.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was so ridiculous.
I look back on it fondly now, though, like as like a cheesy, campy disaster.
Yeah, I can appreciate practical effects in movies. If your movie's going to flop, but they used practical effects, I'll take it. You tried. There's effort there. There's heart there. I think there's a charm to it. Definitely not great. I wouldn't, if it's on the TV, I'll watch it for a little bit, then I'm switching to something else.
Yeah.
But a good 4 out of 10 movie, it could have been a little better.
Yeah, I think it could have been a lot better.
Oh yeah.
And then came a couple years later, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat.
Yes, Mortal Kombat.
Which they were campy, cheesy, but they had some cool techno-ish dance soundtracks.
I might get this fact completely wrong, and it really doesn't have much to do with our conversation, but because I think they came around the same time, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. The 90s for video game adaptations was interesting. It was very interesting. It was a camp fest.
Yes.
It was just one campy thing after the next.
That's a great way to put it, which is interesting because those games weren't necessarily campy. I mean, I guess if you think about it, Super Mario Brothers, the original games, you have two Italian brothers.
Yeah.
In suspender? What do you call those?
Or overalls.
Overalls.
That's what they're all. Overalls. Yeah.
Color coordinated.
Yep.
Go riding on turtles for superpowers.
Is it a stat? They're plumbers. Are we established? They're plumbers.
Yeah.
So they're two Italian plumbers. They fix the pipe. That's
right. It kind of. Wait, is that a stereotype?
That's very
Italian plumbers.
It's probably. I don't know. I'm Italian. I don't care.
I'm
it's
half
whatever.
Italian. I mean, I don't care either. But.
Yeah. If you're offended by Italian plumbers, I mean, oh my God, don't go on the internet ever. You're good.
But I mean, I guess if you look at it in that way, now they're kind of campy.
Yeah.
If you look at Red Dead Redemption versus Super Mario or Mario Brothers, but it was also of the time too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the 80s was kind of campy and big hair and big sparkles and stuff, and
poppy colors and neon and all that stuff. And the early 90s was trying to exhaust that until it became its own thing.
Yeah. And then you have Super Mario Brothers the movie, which was not at all like that.
No, it was
dark and
it was very much like Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
one of my favorite movies ever.
The Ghostbusters movie, very practical, very dark, very of its time.
Yeah.
You can tell a movie from the is from the 90s like that.
Yeah.
Especially now where you have all this CGI and stuff, and even to a degree you're seeing AI starting to get involved in the movies a little bit. But I think maybe people need to watch a little bit of that first movie just to kind of see what we're talking about. But it is very campy. Bowser, and I don't think we're spoiling anything here. The movie's been out for
72 years.
The movie's been out for 75 years.
Benny just saw it, by the way. He just learned about it.
Yeah, wow. I was like, wow, this is a new movie. Bowser is a real person for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some weird decisions in that movie that were very strange.
I wonder if that came down to budget. I mean, I dropped my cane.
But maybe it was a budget thing. Maybe it was just because I forget the actor they got to play Bowser, but it's not a nobody.
Yeah. He was kind of. So looking at this, they had Bob Haskins.
Yes.
Who's a Shakespearean actor at the time. John Leguizamo.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Dennis Hopper was Bowser.
You're not putting a mask on Dennis Hopper.
They had some pretty good talent.
Imagine booking Dennis Hopper and saying, "All right, we're going to put a giant Bowser head on you." Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Oh, Fisher Stevens was in that too.
Yeah. No, those are my thoughts on the first video game to become a movie.
And it's almost like after Super Mario Brothers, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat all kind of bombed, why did Hollywood keep trying to make? I mean, obviously the answer is money. It's kind of fascinating now that they didn't take a beat and be like, all right, let's go back and think things out for a couple of years. Nope.
Because if that happened now, they would take a beat.
Yeah.
They would immediately be like, oh, all right, we're not doing that.
Except DC.
Well,
They just try every year.
They just keep plowing forward, you know.
God love them. All right, so it's interesting to me that the TV adaptations really, I would say, only happened more recently.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, obviously, the big one that we'll talk about is going to be Last of Us, that video game becoming a TV show. And there's plenty to debate about what they've done so far with that TV show. But it is interesting because when you think of like Saturday morning cartoons, like at some point you would think like, man, they would have to have, even in like the 80s or 90s, thought like, hey, Pac-Man, or hey, let's do like even a Space Invaders cartoon for kids on Sunday morning cartoons. Like that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But they just, I think that era of Hollywood was all about taking big swings, and that eventually led to some of the great things we saw in the 90s, some of the great practical, small movies in the 90s. But, like you said, after the bombs that you had in like the late 80s, early 90s of all these movies they try to do from video games, they kind of chilled out a little bit, and then I think TV did the same thing. I think TV's even more reactionary than Hollywood, where if you're not making money quick in TV, you're in for a rough one.
Yeah, and I guess it wasn't really until video game adaptations in movies became more successful that then they started venturing into TV, where you get things like The Witcher, Arcane from League of Legends, The Last of Us, even Halo. I remember Halo, which, by the way, we had Pablo Schreiber has been on the show. Halo, I remember everybody looking forward to when they announced the Halo series like 5 years before it came out, because that was just such a big game. And then you have, like you said, Last of Us was, I would say, the biggest TV adaptation, wouldn't you? I
would say for Last of Us, in terms of hype, that was probably the one video game getting a TV show that was like, okay, this is big. That, like, Last of Us to people that have played that video game is the way I think of like Red Dead Redemption. Like this getting a video game,
like a higher level.
Yeah, this video game getting a TV show is going to be amazing. Now we could debate obviously the way they've handled it. I don't think they've handled it too well, but I still think like taking a game like that and moving it to TV really set the tone for other games to get their opportunity. So even if there's flop after flop after flop, now it's a thing. Like now that this. I mean, Last of Us was sold millions of copies, and that's another game I've played through the game at least 7 times. Like I will go back and just play. I'll go back and just watch on YouTube when I'm working. I'll just listen to people playing the game because it's a fascinating game. It is just such an interesting story. It's also another situation where we're talking about a world that you live in a little bit different. Obviously, like there's no threat of a zombie apocalypse in our world right now, but there could be.
Right now, yeah.
There could be, you never know. And it's just interesting to like experience that,
Yeah.
And that's a video game that is a great video game to turn into a movie, to turn into a TV show, because there's plenty of story there, but it's open world-ish.
Yeah.
And I think that's the perfect type of game to be made into a movie. Or TV show in this case.
And it's a huge hit. And then it's up for Emmy noms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's you can't get more legit, at least in regards to legitimacy as a TV show, than an Emmy nomination.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's done very well. I think if you asked a lot of like hardcore people that have played the video game, they probably would have some other opinions on it, but I mean, it's been so successful. And again, this is the same thing as video game, like the one video game that became a great successful movie. This is the one video game that became a great successful TV show. Now that they've seen that they can make money off of this and it can be profitable and it can be successful, but also critically successful, there will continue to be video games made into TV shows. There will continue to be video games made into movies because of Last of Us, because of the other successvel adaptations in the movies.
The Witcher. Did you ever play the game?
Never got a chance to play The Witcher, but I'm very familiar with the game.
Did you watch the show?
I've watched the show.
Me either.
My thing is like I would I would watch a show made after a video game. Like if they made a Red Dead Redemption TV show, I probably would actually watch that because I love that game to the end of my life. But Witcher, I'm very familiar with the story. I have no idea how you can make a TV show out of that and not incorporate a lot of the stuff that was in that video game. But I'm fascinated.
Why? What do you mean? Is the video game?
There's a lot of nudity. There's a lot of
apparently there was a lot of nudity in The Witcher. Wasn't it that there was a big controversy over Henry Cavill's dong or something?
Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that. Yeah. Okay. I guess they didn't pull any punches.
It was what, HBO or something, I think, or Netflix.
Right. I was going to say
Netflix.
if it was on like Hulu, I think I'd probably be like, oh
yeah,
Hulu. Okay. Paramount Plus showing Henry Cavill's thing.
And I heard it was
Superman?
I heard Henry Cavill's dong was super. It was a bad joke.
That was a great joke. I got it. Has the S on it.
It has a cape. Okay. Big screen hits and misses. So let's should we talk about the bad or the good first?
I always like to get the bad out of the way. I think we've talked about a lot of the good. I think it's time for a little dip in conversation, and let's get into the bad.
Okay. So you want to talk about Assassin's Creed, which is on the list anyway.
What the hell did they do?
I've never seen it. Explain it to me.
Okay. So, I've played the video games, and I am second to Red Dead Redemption. Assassin's Creed is some of my favorite video games ever. My favorite is Black Flag. That is the closest thing you'll get to like playing Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a fantastic game. And
really?
Obviously. Oh yeah. You ever play Black Flag?
No.
Oh my God.
And I love
dude.
pirates.
Open world in the Caribbean. We're talking about like a borderline GTA sized map, and there's islands you can go to.
That's cool.
Oh, it's so cool.
And this is Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
This is the fourth Assassin's. Okay, in terms of the sequence, this is the fourth Assassin's Creed game because there was obviously the first one, which was in the Middle East. First game's difficult because it's like borders Turkey and Jerusalem and that kind of area, but it's like the thousands. The second one's in Italy, and then there's Brotherhood, and there's two games that came off that. Brotherhood's one of them, and I forget the other one, but I played both of those. I just forget the other one. And then the third one was based in America. The fourth one was Black Flag. So in terms of the big marquee games, and they would make little small ones after that.
So really quickly, give me the gist of Assassin's Creed. Like, what is it about?
Sure. Effectively, you play history. So major events in history, the assassination of Julius Caesar, the rise of the American Revolution, the downfall of the Roman Empire. With the newer games, you're playing like in Egypt and stuff, and the death of one of the pharaohs. And
so, are you the assassin?
You are the assassin.
So you're the villain trying to kill the.
Not necessarily. So their interpretation of history is very different from what we've been taught. It's very interesting in that sense. There's no short way to describe Assassin's Creed aside from like you run around jumping off stuff and killing people. Like that's what like people that have bones for brains would say. But like people like me would say like it's impossible just to kind of consolidate. But I will say this: there's the main part of it, which is kind of our history and how their game fits into our history, and then there's a bigger overarching story about the end of time and the end of civilization and how there was a pre-civilization before ours. It's this big, giant story. That being said, when they made it into a movie, oh my God, it looked horrible. It was a CGI. It was like CGI slop. It was in that awkward era of movies. I want to say it came out in like 2018, 2019. The Assassin's Creed movie. I might be completely wrong on that, but it was like CGI crap. I was so disappointed in it.
2016.
So it was
Michael Fassbender was in it.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, Marion Cotillard, who's another great actor. Jeremy Irons
is a great actor.
Wow.
I think this is like a case of like all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
Yeah.
Because you could have gotten Martin Scorsese to direct this movie, and it still probably would have been terrible. Like it's a difficult thing to move to a movie because you are the assassin. You make the missions, you make the story. the actions you do actually kind of impact the way the game's played. So it's very difficult to turn that into a movie. That being said, I think it could be done a whole lot better than what they did. You know, you can't just like hire people that don't care about the game to make this game.
So did you see the movie?
I did.
And as a fan, because you're a fan of the games, what did you not like about it as a fan of the games?
As a fan of the games, did not at all come close to what you get from the game. Like even the essence of the game? Yeah, you just like, after you play that game for like that first 45 minutes, you get into a point where you're like, man, like I'm an assassin. Like you're stealthily trying to get through missions and stuff. It's kind of like, have you ever played Hitman?
Yes.
Yeah, so Hitman's a good example. And I think another situation where a video game became a movie.
That was horrible, yeah.
Very bad. But like when you play Hitman, after the first mission or so, you get into a point where you're like, all right, I got to do this, I got to do that. I got to do all these intricate things just to get into this position. Some people play Assassin's Creed, they just bowl through each mission, you know, killing as many people as possible. But after a while, you get to a point where you're like, how can I beat this mission as stealthily as possible? And they didn't really capture that essence of strategy and like thought and, you know, like the assassin's character from that movie he's not a dumb like guy. He's like really intelligent, very insightful. And I just felt like they didn't do the character justice. And like you're watching this and you're just like, I felt like that was their interpretation of the game, not the game's being interpreted into the game being turned into a movie. It was just a movie interpreting the game. That's a great way to describe it.
Okay. All right. I like that take.
At BP, we're not just talking strategy. We're making it happen, growing our upstream business with 6 major new projects in 2025. 4 already live, 2 more scheduled this year, expecting to add 135,000 barrels a day to peak production, helping drive long-term shareholder value. For more on our growth plans, visit bp.com/strategy at work.
Doom. Okay, I did forget that I used to play Doom as a kid.
Played it a little bit.
Jason, my best friend, him and I used to play it, and then we would play each other. So like, see how far you can get, then see how far I could get, and then blah, 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 and then we would argue about it. Then that movie came out with The Rock.
Yep.
Which was like, was it maybe the first time it was like a first-person movie? Like they had sections, remember that?
There was something funky about that movie.
Like, remember it was like you were playing the game where it was like you were in the helmet?
I think there were spurts of the movie that were like that.
Okay.
There was another movie that was like that was like a stuntman movie or something.
Yes.
Where like you played as like, you watched it from the position of the stuntman.
Yeah, Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore Henry,
yes.
That's what it was.
Sorry, keep going.
The moment I saw The Rock was going to be the main character. Nothing against The Rock. I love him. I love him as a wrestler. I love him as an actor.
Doom was pretty much universally panned.
It was doomed.
And it made budget was $70 million. It made $58 million at the box office. So It didn't even make its budget back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I hope the studio was able to recover all of the money they've lost. What I'll say is this. Tough material to make a movie out of.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you do. Like, if someone came to you and said, hey, I want to make a movie about just the zombie mode of Call of Duty, you would probably tell them, how about we don't? Like, how about you don't do that? Because there's a story there, but like, not enough to make a movie out of, you know?
Yeah, actually, now that you bring it up, there was a recent movie adaptation of a game that was a horror game.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I think horror games are pretty solid in terms of being able to take and make into a movie because they just slide so well into the framework of what a horror movie needs to be. A horror video game that moves into it. But what was the game?
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. Okay,
I left the movie theater.
Just it's tough. You can't. When you're dealing with a game that's just waves and waves and waves, and there's waves of enemies to defeat, and there's no real story to it, like again, like this is like, stop, like Hollywood, don't look at that, don't look at that. look at like Red Dead Redemption, like look at like Grand Theft Auto, like look at those video games. Like those are the ones like you go to Rockstar and you're like, could we do a TV show? Like, could we do something like that? And they probably would be like, no.
Yeah, Until Dawn was horrendous. They did have a few clever things that I saw before I left. And it takes a lot for me not to like a movie. It takes even more for me to leave.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I literally could be washing my hair or something right now.
When you get to a point watching a movie where you're like, man, I could be doing other things. I could be doing chores.
Yeah, that's bad. So one of the clever things that I thought, though, was they said something about, you know how like sometimes in games it'll be like raining here but not over there or whatever. Like they made a reference to that. They were like, why does it keep raining here and not over there or something like that? It was like kind of cringy but also kind of clever in the fact that they're at least acknowledging it.
Yeah.
But it didn't fit the tone of the rest of the movie, which was supposed to be like a horror, so it was not great.
Yeah, I like comedy in my horror that actually makes sense and not like, hey, we're gonna get meta. Like, don't get meta.
Exactly, unless the game is meta.
Yeah, unless the game is meta, but like, don't get meta. Just let a zombie eat you. I'd like do that. Yeah, But if we want to start transitioning into the good stuff, like there are a lot of horror games that make perfect movies.
But are they movies?
Silent Hill. I think Silent Hill was a fantastic game and a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
They did a really good job with that.
What about Five Nights at Freddy's?
That's tough. Again, like we're talking about like when you play Five Nights at Freddy's, like waves and waves and waves. I know there's a story there. I just think it's too tough.
Did you see the film?
I played the game. I haven't seen the film.
Okay. I have not played the game, but I've seen the film.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was genuinely creepy. It reminded me.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Chuck E. Cheese, like when I was a kid. It's like every nightmare that I had as a kid with Chuck E. Cheese come to life. So it was genuinely pretty creepy. You know what I mean? I liked it.
The atmosphere of Five Nights at Freddy's is very creepy. It gets to a point where you're like, it's genuine horror. Like it's very close to like a Jason, what is it? Like Friday the 13th with Jason Voorhees and whatnot, or Michael Myers, Halloween type stuff. But I'm playing the video game, and then when I heard it was going to be made into a movie, I'm like, how? Like how are you going to do this? Because it's just like, it's 5 nights of you trying to survive in this, haunted pizza place. I don't know how you turn that into a movie. I don't know how you get enough out of that to be a movie.
You should check it out. I'm curious now.
Okay. I'll definitely we'll make a night of it.
Yes.
Night.
Oh yeah, we'll watch it together.
Yes, we will. Holding hands.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh God.
Did you like that? I didn't see it. It just looked too bad.
I just remember watching the previews for it, which, by the way, I will say, side note, I saw the previews for Together. I think that looks awesome.
Yes,
I can't wait to see
it is really good.
But Sonic the Hedgehog, when I saw the previews for that, I said, oh my God, why does he, like, I remember, there was the drama about the first one, where they botched his face so bad.
And before they even released the first one, they redid all the CGI for, or the graphics for it.
I don't know if they made their money. I mean, they obviously made enough money to make another one.
They've been huge. They're on 3 and a spinoff now.
I have no desire to watch any of that. I don't know. Like that one, I think is a little. There's a little more to it than like obviously the game I've played. There's enough of the story of the game. There's more than enough of the game you can turn into a movie. I just have no desire to see CGI hedgehogs running fast. I'm good.
So the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise so far, the film franchise, has grossed over $1 billion worldwide through the first 3 films and the television show Knuckles. And Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is coming out in 2027.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is this going to turn into like Avatar where they're planning movies until 2030, 11?
I think so. But I don't know. It just looked too corny to me.
I think that's what turns me off is like, if it looks corny and ridiculous, I'm good. There's a lot to see in this world, Unless it's purposefully, like unless it's in on the joke. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, okay. I think I probably have to give one of the movies a try, but to me, at least from the outside looking in, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
me
good.
too.
Yeah.
But they were big hits, and so
They
I
were
guess
huge hits. Yeah.
Detective Pikachu.
So yeah, Pokemon getting a movie. Pokemon has their own movies, obviously.
Right.
But getting Detective Pikachu. I've heard that one was great. I haven't seen it, but I heard it was hilarious. Ryan Reynolds is Pikachu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great movie. Great success.
Yeah, $500 million and was critically liked as well.
Yes. That one's one where I think they probably might make more of them in the future.
I'm sure
they will. Yeah. I don't know if they are planning on doing that or not. What other horror games I'm trying to think of? Is it Resident Evil that had a video game and became a movie? Resident
Evil became like 12 movies.
12 movies, yeah.
And then a TV show, and then now we're starting the movies over again.
Yeah. Like that one's a huge success.
Yes.
Again.
That also, I really liked the first bunch, but then they got progressively worse.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
That's what if you do too many movies, you kind of oversaturate it a little bit.
Often.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those were good. And like you said, the Silent Hill ones, those movies are freaking scary.
I love Silent Hill. The video game is outstanding. One of the greatest video games they've ever created. The movies are spectacular, and they capture the essence. I think that might, to me, if we were to rank like all of the video games to become a movie, and all the those movies, Silent Hill's probably the best because it in terms of capturing the video game, staying true to what the video game was. Plus, I mean, God, that movie put Pyramid Head on the map as one of the scariest characters ever.
And he is.
Yeah.
Or it.
It is. He is.
Yeah.
What I don't know. I don't know his pronouns.
Me either.
I think his pronouns are pyramid.
Pyramid. All right. Finally, why do we think they fail or work? One thing to think about is the common adaptation traps, like an over-reliance on fan service or Easter eggs to the point where the story doesn't make sense.
That can happen. Honestly, to me, I think it goes back to this. If you take a video game and if you go up to a video game and you say, I want to make a movie out of this video game, well, you need to kind of look at the game. If the game, for example, like Doom, there is kind of a story to Doom. I more think of it as hey, you just kind of want the core purpose of Doom is just violence. It's just crazy violence, crazy creatures, and you're just shooting them, you're cutting them in half, you're doing crazy shit. That's the purpose of that game. That's not a movie. That's just an hour or two of you in the basement just enjoying blowing the head off demons. That's not really much of a movie. However, a game like Assassin's Creed, there is a story there. You could turn that into a movie. And honestly, I think the best type of movie that's done something Assassin's Creed-ish, like a mystery in the background, is like the Da Vinci movies, Da Vinci Code movies. That really is, to me, that's kind of Assassin's Creed is very puzzles. It's very deep codes. It's going up to these amazing structures and finding ancient technology in them. That's what makes a great movie. I think it's honestly goes down to subject matter of the game. If there's enough there, if there's enough meat on the bone, you can make a good movie out of it.
Also, like you said, ignoring what made the game good in the first place, the essence of the game, we were talking about, which, like you said, is it's a kind of a, you have to balance very carefully over relying on fan service to the point you don't have the actual story for the general public, but ignoring what made the game loved in the first place to the point where you turn off the fans of the game. And then trying to cram 40 hours of gameplay into, 90 minutes, 2 hours, which you don't, if you have a good self-contained story, I guess it depends on if you're literally adapting by this particular game. We're adapting that movie into a film. Yeah, you're going to be cutting out a lot of stuff if you do it that way.
The only people that want to watch fan service the movie are Star Trek and Star Wars fans. Those are the only people that want to watch that.
And then what works now? I mean, respecting the source material and adapting it for a new medium, bringing in fans and creators. You know, they brought in
Yes.
Neil Druckmann for The Last of Us, who, you know, obviously was behind the game. You know, from people that played the game, they seem to like it. So that seems like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, definitely. At least for an advisory position, it's good. It's good to have like that's perspective. Obviously, you don't want to do way too much of that. You don't want a fan there to say like, "Well, the zombies got to look like that." No, you don't need that. Like, I'm willing to
Micromanaged, you're saying.
Yeah, I'm willing to push a lot to the side. I think the average moviegoer is willing to push a lot to the side if the movie's good. If the movie at least keeps the core principles of the game in thought. If it's really nice to see like those little tiny details, there's a little sprinkling of, oh yeah, I remember that in the game. Oh, I remember that in the game. You know, it's nice to have that in there. But like for the most part, I appreciate sometimes when a director gets the opportunity to take a piece of subject matter and apply a little bit of their own vision to it while also staying true to the core material. That's honestly the best recipe for taking something that already exists and is already successful and making it into something else that can be successful.
Okay. Benjamin, it is always a pleasure having you.
It's a pleasure to be had.
The name of your podcast?
The LFG Podcast, League of Famous Gentlemen.
And you can get that wherever you get your podcast, just like on the free iHeartRadio app.
Oh yeah, free iHeartRadio app.
Benny, thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure having you on. And we're going to take a quick break before we get to interviews. Take 60-second break to pay the bills. See you in 60. All right. Thank you for hanging in and supporting our sponsors. They help this show come to you every single week. So I appreciate them and you. We are going to jump right into the Twisted Metal Season 2 interviews. I sat down with the cast and the showrunner, and let me tell you, Twisted Metal Season 2, it's like Mad Max met a Monster energy drink, and they had a TV show. First up, we're going to talk with the brain behind the mayhem. Michael Jonathan Smith joins us. We're going to talk about expanding the Twisted Metal universe, what to expect in Season 2 and beyond, and how somehow it's still good and hilarious. So, here he is, Michael Jonathan Smith. Awesome. First of all, thank you so much for speaking with me. I really appreciate it. Glad to have you on.
Thank you, Kyle. Happy to be here.
Thank you. So, first of all, congrats on the success of the show. It has such a crazy tone, I would say. And it kind of pulls from post-apocalyptic and horror and comedy and action and sci-fi. How did you come up with this version? How did you pull from all of that to bring this version onto the screen?
I mean, honestly, I'm a humongous fan of the game. I love Twisted Metal. I played it when I was a teenager. And I just really wanted to adapt that feeling I had playing the game. I wanted to adapt the feeling of how much fun I had playing Twisted Metal. I wanted to capture the feeling of dodging a missile and blowing up for friends and just capture the feeling of fun. I just want you to have fun playing the show, watching the show. And I think ultimately that's what I'm trying to capture.
I think you've done that beautifully. Did you, especially as a big fan of the games, did you feel a pressure to kind of live up to that legacy?
Oh, of course. I mean, you want the fans to have a good time, and especially with any of these IPs and video games, you have an expectation. And I think, ultimately, if our writer's room and the cast are not having a good time, I know the audience isn't having a good time. And we have these moments in the writer's room when we're jumping up, being like, oh my God, yes, that feels great. And I feel like if we're not experiencing that, then the audience isn't experiencing that.
Okay. And, there has been in pop culture and media, there has been a long string of not successful transitions from game to screen. What do you think that Twisted Metal has done right that some of these others hasn't? I mean, this has clicked with critics and fans, and that's something that I think many previous attempts at bringing a game over didn't click with either one.
I mean, that's such a good question. I think for us, we're just trying to do only what Twisted Metal can do. And we're leaning into the craziness of what's fun, and only our show can have a clown that lights his hair on fire and his best friend's a paper bag. But we're also really making sure that you love these characters. You know what I mean? Like, the heart of it is Anthony Mackie and Stephanie Beatrice's characters' relationship. So at the heart of it, you're following them, you're loving what they're doing. Every character, no matter how insane they are or how unhinged they are, you love them. You love Sweet Tooth's relationship with his paper bag. You love, Mike Mitchell Stu's relationship with Sweet Tooth. Like, you just really care about these characters and you root for them regardless of what they're doing. And at the heart of it, that's what kind of matters to me, is you just love all of these characters and root for them no matter the craziness that's surrounding it.
Are there Easter eggs that fans from season 1 that fans haven't discovered yet?
Honestly, I think pretty much everyone caught them all. Like, I was really impressed at how with a fine-tooth comb, everyone seemed to catch them, which is really impressive. And hats off to the fans for really catching every single one. I really can't think of anyone that they didn't catch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's a testament to both you and the fan base. And I thank you so much for speaking with me. I can't wait for everybody to see Twisted Metal Season 2 exclusively on Peacock.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you. Have a great day. Michael Jonathan Smith. All right. Next up, Tiana Okoye, Patti Guggenheim, and sailor Bell Curda bring the energy, the fun, and some truly epic fashion choices. Trust me, you'll want to be in their crew. Here they are, Tiana Okoye, Patti Guggenheim, and sailor Bell Curda. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
So, first of all, congratulations on the series. It's so much fun, and it's kind of a crazy mix of all kinds of genres. I wonder, for each one of you, is that kind of what attracted you to the series? Like, this kind of crazy post-apocalyptic, part comedy, part action, part horror? Like, what was it for each of you?
I mean, definitely. I watched the first season and it was just, I was like, this is a cool ass show. Like, it was way cooler than I could have imagined. And then it does like pull so many like nostalgic things and like fun pop culture, but then it has like this gritty nature. I was just like, this is a cool world. So I was stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved all the characters. And as you said, the mixture of the genres is like so fun to play with. It really feels like you're in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
So that first season was just so wild, but the second season is going to be even crazier. And the characters are just out of this world. So
literally.
Like, that's what was what I was the most attracted to, like all of our own individual characters. I feel like all I'm ever looking for is something really challenging and fun to take on. And I feel like each and every one of us, who we were and who we were playing, were so complex in and of themselves. And it was like the biggest, most beautiful challenge I ever had filming that season.
Absolutely.
And I've maybe never felt more proud about like a piece of work being released, truly.
Yeah.
I love that. And Twisted Metal is, it is so beloved by so many people for the games. And then there's I don't want to say added pressure as an actor because, I'm not an actor, but is there an added pressure when you have, first of all, this huge franchise outside of a series, but then you have a successful, widely loved first season? Is there pressure, coming into both of those things?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, I felt that. I feel like the fans are the heartbeat of the show. They keep it alive and they love it so much. It is that nostalgic piece, right? Like they've played the game, they love it, they love the characters, they love the cars. And so there is that added pressure, absolutely, that you want to do it justice. And so I mean, luckily we had MJ, who is also just the biggest fan of the game and loves the show so dearly. So yeah, I think we were in good hands as far as any details and really paying homage to the game, you know?
Yeah, he was like a Bible for the world.
Absolutely.
Like he could, I mean, quite literally, he just knows it in and out. And so he was so much fun to like talk to about the world because he just had it all like in his head, and we just were like, give us more. But there is like, you really want to honor what's there. Like you want to honor the world, you want to honor the characters and like fight for these characters. And then, yeah, I mean, that's one of the cool parts about, I think, being an actor and getting to jump into a project like this, where you're getting to just like step into shoes that already exist, but then like make them your own, you know?
How about for you, Sailor?
I feel like it was so intimidating to enter a world where I knew there was just this already very large fan base, very dedicated people. I certainly know like the type of person I become when I'm watching something that I feel like I know everything about. Like another Scooby-Doo movie ever comes out, I'm going to be on it and I'm going to be judging because I know Scooby-Doo. But, you know, I think there's also just like something really beautiful to how I think no matter what, it does just feel so authentic. Everything that we've done with all the help of MJ and everybody on that show who like truly just knows the game, this show itself through and through. And it just felt comfortable. It almost never feels scary now because I'm surrounded by these people who make me feel so confident in what we've done.
That's awesome. Thank you all so much. I can't wait for everybody to see Twisted Metal Season 2 exclusively on
thank you,
Peacock.
Kyle.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle.
Tiana Okoye, Patti Guggenheim, and Sailor Bell Curda. Thank you to them. It was a great conversation. Moving right along, Lisa Gilroy and Richard De Klerk continue on with our Twisted Metal takeover with laughs, insight, and maybe a couple of secrets about what's coming next in Season 2 and beyond. Here they are, Lisa Gilroy and Richard De Klerk. Thank you both for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, Kyle. Sorry, you just walked in. I was all flustered because I was like telling Richard, I was like, oh, we should talk about this. And he was like, you can't say it. I did a really bad job of prepping.
Well, I mean, that brings up a great point. When you're dealing with a project like this and you know, there's so many spoilers that can be spoiled. How do you know, I obviously am indifferent from you guys in the fact that I'm not on the show, but when I watch these things, I can't talk about it with anybody until it comes out. You know what I mean? You guys have to be 10 times worse. Does that hit you? Does that register with you? Or are you like you just did, Lisa?
Yeah, the good news about me is I'm kind of like the stupidest woman alive. So I forget everything that we did mostly. So it would be very difficult for me to provide a spoiler to someone else. But yeah, the little things that I do remember, some of them then I forget that it is a spoiler. I'm not doing well.
I remember everything, but also for myself, I don't care about spoilers. I'm still going to watch a show. It doesn't matter to me, but I don't want to mess it up for anybody else.
Yeah. I see. It's interesting because I'm the type of person who, like, when I watch a trailer, if I already know I'm going to see the movie, I won't watch the trailer.
I'm the same as that. Yeah, I don't even like to read a log line. I don't want to know.
Exactly. Like if it's a Marvel movie, I know I'm going to see it. I don't even watch the trailer. But if it's something that I don't know, I'll watch it until I decide that I'll watch the trailer until I decide I want to see it. And then I'm done. Like, because I don't want to see any more. So I'll be in the movie theater like, you know, like, so it doesn't get spoiled. So I can't imagine doing this in a show, but I love your take on it, Richard, too. Lisa, I would be more like you. I'd be like, I don't remember what I did yesterday. There's a taco in my pocket and have no idea how it got there. But in any way, it's chaotic. How was it coming into this world that has, really a legacy behind it with the franchise of the game, but then, a beloved series as well?
I mean, for me, it was a dream come true to come in and play this character and be a part of this world, because I feel like it's a show. Like, I'm a huge fan of the show. Like, the first season had me cackling. It had me weeping oddly. And it's just a deeply approachable show. There's something in it for everyone. Like, people who played the games, there's enough tiebacks to the games. People who have never played the games, there's enough emotional truth and grounded reality in all these characters and how they interact. Like, I feel like that's something, that interplay between the characters that informs the action is really yummy.
And I've never been a part of anything that has this kind of like fan following or this history. So the thing that I found most interesting about it is I kept getting tagged on things online that were like, Lisa Gilroy's in the new season. She's probably playing like big milky jumbos, milk maiden number one, or something, like characters that I don't know about, but they sounded hot. And so I was so excited to be Vermin and like have the news drop.
Yeah, that is exciting, and both of your characters, Mr. Grimm and Vermin, are so just such rich in this crazy rich world. Quickly, if you in real life were put into this kind of demolition, what would your car's name be and do?
I think my favorite car that I've ever had was my grandma's old Buick LeSabre, and its name would be Couch, and it would go so slow, and it would die on the way to my 8 a.m. class in college, and that would be its like secret move that it does.
You said same, Richard?
Mine would be what I learned on. It was a 1989 Ford Ranger. It was my grandpa's car. It smelled like his dog, and the idle was really fast on it. I never adjusted the idle on it. So that's what my car would do.
Okay. And what would its name be?
Ranger.
Ranger. All right.
Yeah, Ranger.
Thank you both so much. I can't wait for everybody to see season 2 of Twisted Metal. You guys are awesome.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa Gilroy and Richard De Klerk. Love them. All right. Next up, I sit down with Joe Sinuwa, a.k.a. Samoa Joe, and Mike Mitchell. And if you ever wanted a wrestler and a comedian to co-pilot a murder truck, this interview is for you. Let's speak to them, Joe Sinuwa and Mike Mitchell. Thanks you both so much for joining me. I'm glad to have you on.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. So first of all, congrats on the show. It's so much fun. It's chaotic. It's crazy. It's wild. And I love it. And I got to ask, Joe, how is doing Twisted Metal different than, you have been very big in the wrestling world? Are they two different projects? I mean, obviously they are, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's two very different worlds. And it was funny because going back to wrestling and just talking with those guys, them asking me the same question. And, wrestling is very one take, live. You're in the moment. You got one shot to do it. And once you get it done, hey, you're good to go. You go on to the next thing. If you mess it up, hey, there's no cut and go again. Whereas, in the acting world, it's a much more of an exercise in stamina. It's giving that same great performance 20 times over 30 takes over however many times it needs to be shot and filmed properly. That, that's something that's very new for a lot of people that come from my world and go into the world of acting, where it's like they realize, oh, wow, I don't have to be just ready for one shot. I have to be ready for 30 shots, and for them to all be good as that one shot would be that I would do live normally on television. So, it's stamina versus pressure. It's an interesting contrast.
And for you, Mike, you've done a lot as well, but you've done a lot with sketch comedy, live comedy. Is that similar for you? Does that kind of ring true for you as well?
Sure, yeah. And, it definitely helps with, exercising some muscles and, being on stage and trying to get everything right the first time. I got to say this about Joe. He's, his character is masked, but Joe is nailing it every single take, even with that mask on, and giving a great performance for me, which is so helpful, as an actor to be acting with this guy who's knocking it out of the park every single take, and is scary as hell in some of those scenes. There's not a lot of acting for me when you see Sweet Tooth throw me up against a car or whatever, because it's real. It feels real, and I get the real power of Joe and Sweet Tooth at the same time. It's terrifying.
All right, I'll send you the $100. All right, enough. All right,
Do you? I'm sorry.
Comedy, I mean, this show also, there's a ton of comedy elements, and so that my background in comedy is super helpful. And I have a blast. Every scene I have with Joe is always such a blast. It's a highlight for me.
Do you feel, this does have a big legacy behind it with the game franchise and now a successful, series. Do you feel any of that pressure coming into that for something that's so beloved?
Oh, I do. Because all my friends, they game, they know this game. I mean, they were the guys that were on my couch playing it with me. So, they were waiting for me to mess it up. I'm like, oh, you blow this one, dog. Oh, so it's like, yeah, you feel the pressure. It's cool though. They ain't saying much now. So no, yeah. I mean, yeah. And honestly, just for me personally, man, Twisted Metal is a series that I enjoyed playing growing up. I dug it. The characters are all iconic to me. All my friends and all the people that I knew growing up, anytime when I mentioned the show, 5 or 6 characters roll off their tongue. Oh, is so-and-so in it? Is so-and-so in it? And, yeah, man, I wanted to make sure that, those people that have those memories, credence was paid to them. I think MJ does an amazing job, as well as our entire writing staff, paying that credence to that time period and the game and the legacy that it had and the feeling and the vibe that it has. So, yeah, man, I just, it's pressure, but I think we're bearing it well. That's the one that gets me in trouble. That's the quote that gets played. I think we're bearing it well.
I gotta say this too. Joe has the pressure of playing. Joe has the pressure of playing this. A Mickey Mouse type character. There's people love Sweet Tooth and fans of the game and just video games in general. In the video game world, this is one of the huge characters. Stu is, Mike and Stu they're beloved and people loved Hammerhead. But Sweet Tooth is a big deal, and Joe knocks it out of the park, of course. But like Joe said, Michael Jonathan.
I've had enough, dude. Okay, listen. Mike saves orphans on the weekends. I don't know if you know that. He scoops them up off the streets and finds them homes, safe ones at that. It's really, really. So I hope you all know that.
I gotta hype him up. Stu loves Sweet Tooth, and
half of his paycheck, I think, goes to Red Cross. Also, he's that type of guy. So just don't let him tell you different, no matter what he says.
I heard he saves nuns too. So
yeah. If you're a nun in a bus and something's about to hit you, Mike will be there. Don't worry.
Thank you both so much for speaking with me. I really appreciate it. I can't wait for everybody to see Twisted Metal Season 2 exclusively on Peacock. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Samoa Joe and Mike Mitchell. They are great. And I love their characters in Twisted Metal. They're awesome. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Anthony Mackie and Stephanie Beatriz. And then later, Dave Franco and Alison Brie join us to discuss Together. Be back in 60. All right. Thank you so much for supporting our sponsors who help bring our show to you every single week. All right, next up, our last set of interviews for season 2 of Twisted Metal. Stephanie Beatriz and Anthony Mackie give me some chaotic minutes of behind the scenes, some fun and brutal action, and I'd say some very questionable driving advice. Here they are, Stephanie Beatriz and Anthony Mackie. Thank you both so much for speaking with me. Welcome to the show. I really appreciate it.
What's up, Kyle?
Yeah.
So, first of all, congratulations. Twisted Metal is this crazy amalgam of this post-apocalyptic world. It's part horror, part sci-fi, part action, part comedy. Is that what drew you both to this? It's so many things.
Me, yes. I don't know about you. Me, yes.
100 times yes.
I love the idea of cutting somebody's head off and laughing about it at the same time. I think there's something really cool about funny gore that works really well with the common person and being able to relate to it.
And I'm sorry. No, please.
I just really like silly, stupid comedy, and I wanted so badly to do more action. And I think once I read those scripts, the first season, I was like, oh, this is so smart and silly and wild, and I've never seen anything like it. And it's totally unhinged. And I think the second season is even more unhinged than the first. So I'm very, very thrilled that we got to do it.
Did you feel, this is a beloved franchise, and there is a long history, I think, in entertainment where not every, I think where most game franchises that tried to translate over to screen weren't successful. This one was, obviously. Did you feel going into season one, and now that season one was so beloved and critically a success and a success with the fans, to even do it bigger for season two?
I think with the tournament alone, that just kind of sets up it being a bigger and more ridiculous season. I think if you look at the list of actors, with getting, Anthony Carrigan and the other actors that were able to join the cast, this season is really just a melee of destruction and character. And that's what's so fun. You get these new characters and you get these characters' backstory. So now everyone has a favorite character, and everybody has somebody to cheer for going through the tournament. So episode by episode, you get to see how your character, works through this, gauntlet that Calypso's put together.
I've got to ask both of you, and this might be weird, but did you, if you were in your own kind of demolition, what car would you have and what would it do?
Oh, I would go with it would have to be new, like minty mint, 1983 Bronco, because it's tough, big, a bit of a gas guzzler, so the whole back of it, the Bronco's got to be filled with extra gas, which might be liability if I get smashed into. Yeah. However, in this world, we're pretending this is play pretend. Maybe my bulletproof windows and what do you call it? Like reinforced.
Okay, reinforced.
Yeah.
Okay, reinforcement. Okay, and the tail, extra weight on the chassis.
It's gonna be heavy, but man, she's gonna last. She's gonna make it through.
She's gonna make it. Well, in true in true tournament fashion, I would have a 1986 Delta 88 4-door. Because I want to be in there with my velour seats. And, American cars, we never figured out how to keep the velour on the ceiling, so it would always fall down.
Drooped.
So I would take thumbtacks and put it up there, right? So each thumbtack would be a different missile or something, right? But I gotta be in there, iced out, with the dice in the window, got the knock, the bong bong, right? I was a tape player. Like
that reminds me of when we would be on set. They'd be like, "Anthony, sit up." Can you sit up a little bit?
I'm like, we in the tournament, homeboy. But that Delta 88, man, or a 86 Cadillac Eldorado, you get a deuce and a quarter, you get one of those motherships, there's nobody can beat you. Nobody can beat you.
I love that. I love the show. I love season 2, and I can't wait to freaking talk about it because I can't yet. So as soon as it comes out, I can't wait. Thank you both so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Stephanie, Beatriz, and Anthony Mackie. Love, love, love those guys. Love Twisted Metal season 2. I think you will too. So make sure you hit me up and let's talk about it. I'm at Real Kyle McMahon on pretty much all the platforms. So hit me up and, let's discuss Twisted Metal or anything else you want to discuss. All right. So that was our Twisted Metal season 2 takeover. We've talked games. We've talked flaming cars. Now it's time to talk about a real life couple making fake life horror magic. Dave Franco and Alison Brie are here to talk about their new horror movie that's creepy, clever, and it makes me scared of both love commitment, and lake houses. Let's get into it. Dave Franco and Alison Brie. Thank you both so much for speaking with me. I love Together. It's a great film.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Kyle.
man.
So I got to ask, you have both joked about being kind of codependent in the past. Did that get a little too real during filming of Together?
You know, I didn't really think about it much while we were shooting the movie. I think that we were really happy to be working together. We work really well together. It was right after we finished shooting the movie and had some time apart that I suddenly realized we had become more codependent over the course of the shoot.
We did kind of go into this whole experience knowing that it would end in either divorce or being more codependent, and luckily it's the latter.
I think it's the better of the two.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
subjectively better.
But the movie's not saying codependency is good or bad. It's, take what you want from it. There's healthy versions of it.
Michael Shanks, I'm trying to be as spoiler-free as possible. Michael Shanks was telling me that you guys worked so well together that there was one sequence where you were in a position that you wouldn't have been able to go to the facilities by yourself, and you guys were both troopers, which I find that insane. There's nobody that I love that much that I could do that for.
Oh, wow. There was a day on set where we were literally
physically
attached to each other with a prosthetic for about 10 hours, and we were both trying to be conscious about not drinking too much water, so we weren't taking those frequent trips to the bathroom.
I think I peed 7 times before we started doing the prosthetic just to try to get it all out, but alas.
Alas, one of us would have to go, and we would drag the other one with us, and I remember a moment standing over Allison while she was peeing, and, thinking we could not have made this movie with anyone else.
Yeah.
Dave, you've said that Allison has seen you, at your best and at your worst. How does it, kind of literally and literally now and figuratively, how did that deep trust between you two? I feel like there's some creative risks here. I really do. I love the film, but it's not, it's not black and white. It's very much a thinking person's kind of film, I believe. So how did that lend itself to that risk, that creative risk?
Yeah, obviously I feel more comfortable with her than anyone in the world, and when you feel that way on set, you just, you also feel liberated to just take those risks and to really put yourself out there, and that was very important with this one because this movie is extremely intimate. We're doing very vulnerable things throughout the entire film, and I don't know,
Not just emotionally vulnerable or physically vulnerable. We talk about nudity and being attached and things like that, but also just point blank, we could just look stupid if it didn't all cut together well. Really putting ourselves out on a limb, taking big swings in these performances.
And why we were excited about the project in the first place is because it's trying so many things that you've never seen before. And part of that is blending these different tones. Yes, this movie is a horror film, but it's also very romantic and it's funny and it's sweet. Yeah. And we give our writer-director Michael Shanks so much credit for blending all those tones in a really seamless way.
But having each other on set and having that give and trust definitely made it so much easier for us to just rip the Band-Aid, dive right into every scene.
I love that. And finally, what is a red flag that you would give somebody in a relationship?
The first thing that comes to mind is if you're not laughing with your partner, that's not great because this is the person you're going to spend most of your time with. You got to have fun with them.
Yeah, definitely. I would say not cuddling.
Interesting.
Them not cuddling, them not wanting to cuddle.
Yeah, I think it's a red flag.
Okay. We're cuddlers. We are. Just to put that out there.
Whoa. I didn't say you were not.
We rotate,
I didn't say you weren't a cuddler.
We rotate back and forth.
We go big
little
spoon, little spoon. Yeah.
Thank you both so much. You're a joy to talk to. You're a joy in the film. I can't wait for everybody to see Together.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Dave Franco and Alison Brie. movie Together is out right now. I highly suggest you watch it if you're a horror fan. It is really good. You will love it, and there will be so much to talk about after you see it. So I want to know what you think of it after you see it. All right, and that's a wrap on Pop Culture Weekly. Huge thanks to my friend Benny Panella for nerding out with me, the incredible Twisted Metal cast, and the terrifyingly talented duo, Franco and Alison Brie. If you dug the episode, don't forget to subscribe if you don't yet, and leave a review or tell your group chat that you finally know what a video game adaptation looks like, thanks to Pop Culture Weekly. Follow me everywhere at Real Kyle McMahon, and remember, pop culture is your culture, and I'm just your over-caffeinated tour guide. All right, I'll see you next episode. I love you. We out.
Thank you for listening to Pop Culture Weekly. Hear all the latest at popcultureweekly.com.
Benjamin Panella, join me, and we discuss video games. Anthony Mackie, join me, and we discuss his new show. Franco and Alison Brie, join me and talk together.
At BP, we're not just talking strategy. We're making it happen, growing our upstream business with 6 major new projects in 2025. 4 already live, 2 more scheduled this year, expecting to add 135,000 barrels a day to peak production, helping drive long-term shareholder value. For more on our growth plans, visit bp.com/strategy at work.